Hi guys, welcome back. Yeah, it's another one where I'm driving. So it's like the line in that Denzel movie, "You in the Office, Baby." Yeah, training day. So today I have something kind of cool to share with you. I have learned a new talent, and it has nothing to do with law, but I'm gonna demonstrate that for you at the end of the video. Stay tuned. All right, man, let's get into it. So last week was the first immersion, and it was really challenging. It was over 5 days, so we had it on, started on Wednesday, then it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So each day we started between 8 and 9, and it wasn't always at the same time, but it was between those hours, and we were wrapping up between 5 and 6 o'clock. There was substantial reading to do before the immersion, so I got the reading assignment maybe about a week before, and I guess it wasn't that bad, a little bit over 300 pages to read, and that has to be done before the immersion starts because you're in class and they're doing this Socratic method of teaching, and you don't want to get caught flat-footed. So, people make mistakes, and of course law school is the place to make them, not when you're out there practicing. But at the same token, you're supposed to be prepared. So we started in just 3 classes. I'm in 4 classes this semester, but the first one we not the first, but just first on my list was property, and some of the things we learned in there, well, I'll run through it. We learned about the origins of property law, going back to the Crown, possessory estates, future interest, ambiguous conveyances, regulatory rules, co-ownership and marital interests, the law of landlord and tenant, leasehold estates, and then we had 5 quizzes that we need to do. So I haven't done them all yet. I did finish the first 2. I have 3 to go, but I have a few days to get those done. And I'm happy to report I beasted them. Yes, that means I did very well. So I'm kind of happy with my performance on those initial quizzes. And there's a few tricks to them. And what I did to knock out those first 2, I think I'm on to some good practices. Let's see if I can keep them up. So what I did before I took each quiz, I went through all of the course material on that on the topic that was being quizzed, or the module, and I started outlining everything. So I typed out like all my in-class notes, information from the slides and the books and the cases that we read, and I kind of did those all in the outline and organized it by topic. So that had a twofold purpose. That's going to help me, I think, at the end of the year when I do my final. And actually typing that helps you study for it. So the quizzes weren't that bad, but another thing that I did is, my background was engineering, so the quizzes are a little bit different. But what I did with this was I took advantage of all the time that I had available, and since they were open book, open notes, I took advantage of that. So if I knew the answer for something, I took the time to double check and make sure that I knew. And actually there was one question I took more time on it than I would have, but then I ended up changing the answer from the wrong answer that looked correct to the correct answer. So the lesson here is to double check. When you study long, you really don't study wrong. I think it's going to rain out here. So then I had legal analysis and writing. So the topics we went over were sources of law, close case reasoning, identifying legal issues, identifying the elements of a statute, formulating rules to address clients' legal issues, and understanding the hows and whys of case illustration. And there was some writing that we did, and we did some work in groups and kind of critique each other's work. And I thought it was very now I'm parking. I thought it was very useful, very handy, learned a lot. It's probably about 3-4 weeks of classes crammed into those few days, so that's why we're absorbing so much subject matter. Then there was fundamentals of intellectual property, and with that there's a little spoiler alert. I think I already told you guys that I've been working in IP for 21 years. So, that said, I didn't see that as a real advantage because I'm looking at it with fresh eyes. In case there are things that I need to unlearn, I can do that, and I'm trying to not have any preconceived notions. So I've worked in IP from one perspective. Now I'm seeing it from a different perspective, and it's very cool. So we looked at, this was an overview. To start out, we looked at patents, antitrust, privacy issues, trademarks, and trade secrets. And we ended the immersion session with a kind of a fun scavenger hunt. So how you do that online is really interesting. I'm impressed with the staff and how they pulled it off. But we worked in groups, and I got to know some more of my classmates, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm on the way to forming those law school relationships that hopefully you carry throughout your life. So it was a really busy week, and I think you kind of get that. Every day is long. You start out early, you finish in the evening like you would your job. But unlike your job, it doesn't end there because you have to prepare for the next day. So after you finish class, normally what I did was I would eat something for dinner, and then I'm at it. So I'd be studying and preparing for tomorrow's class until it was really time to sleep, which for me that was around 11, 12, 1 o'clock. I probably didn't get enough sleep. The thing is about the immersion, you're going to be eating, drinking, sleeping, and being the law. You're going to feel like you are the law, because that's not that law. You remember Law, my guitar that I introduced in the first episode. So no, not that law. Get out of here. I'm talking about, you feel like you are, that law, the legal law, not actually Judge Judy, but So I was trying to make a joke there, but it sucked. So the overall thing is that with law, and I think that's with about any grad school program, you gotta love it, and you gotta have passion for it. And if you don't, it's good to consider doing something else, because you just can't go halfway. And even since the immersion ended, and I'm back at my regular job, I get off work and I'm in the books. I'm studying. I'm trying to finish by 11 every night. but sometimes I'm going till 12:30. But we're at the beginning, so I'm hoping to balance that out. I am taking one night a week off from studying, and just to not go cuckoo, and I can do that and still manage to get in probably about 30 hours a week outside of class. And I'm tweaking that. I'm trying to find the sweet spot for how much time I should spend outside of class studying. So it's busy, and that shouldn't surprise you, but I'm not saying all that to discourage you. This is all to prepare you, to mentally prepare you, because I think the study of law is really worth it. There are people that have no one to turn to, and they need help. People are facing, even other people are the government that have limitless resources, and they have none. And I think that is part of the job of an attorney, is to help people. There are a lot of opportunities in law. I think there's opportunities to make a lot of money, but I'm hoping that isn't what, I hope that's not the end all be all for you. Not trying to sound judgy or anything, but we need to contribute something. We need to put something back into society, and this is it. Law enables you to fight. It's a worthwhile endeavor. So if you're thinking about it and you have reservations, you don't know if you can do it, just take the first step. Start studying. Register for the LSAT, lock yourself in, and start studying for it. So that's just taking one step, and every marathon starts with the first step, and you can do it, you can succeed. So I think that's all for today. Don't forget to please hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell so you can get my videos. So be safe. Wait, one thing I didn't tell you, my amazing skill. So what I found that I can do, I can actually stick out my tongue and touch my nose, and I'm going to demonstrate that. Huh? How's that? So I did it. You thought I was going to touch my tongue with my nose. I never said that. Rewind it. So every word's important. My jokes are so bad. Maybe they'll get better. So anyway, thanks for coming by. God bless. Do your best. Talk to you next time.